Now, all right, ladies, we are recording and going live on Facebook. Hopefully, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You never know.
We'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we are going over to What Women Want show page. I have with me Kristen West, my co-host, and financial educator Cheryl Fields. That's what you said, right? Financial educator.
Yes, perfect.
Good, I got it right.
You did.
Okay, we are heading over to Facebook Live now. And as soon as we get connected, I will let you know. Although I've let Kristen know that we're connected before and we haven't been, so
Yeah.
show.
I'm looking
for live streaming preview. I love this, and I'm talking through it because I actually never know quite when it's going to kick me out to live. So we want to sit here and entertain the guests, right, Kristen?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Absolutely. What Women Want. We are preparing for this evening. I'm excited about this show. Look forward when falling backwards.
It's a great title.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on life and on decisions you have to make and things that you have to do. And I believe that, Kristen, are we live on Facebook?
Not that I can see.
All right, not that I can see too. Oh, there we go with my internet. Probably having issues with the connection here. All right, I'm just waiting for that to kick through. Maybe I can hook it up the old-fashioned way to the landline here. It feels a bit faster. Unable to live stream video on Facebook Live. All right, let's try that again.
Uh-oh.
I told you, Kristen, two's a charm. All right, here we go one more time. Live on Facebook. Good, my internet connection is unstable. Awesome.
Perfect.
I know, right? Way to have an live internet show, a web series. You know what? I just plugged in a cable.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help everything out. So let's see what happens with that.
Ethernet cable.
Yes, one of those coaxial thingy dingies to, help things along there. And that's going to make a big difference, I can tell, because we're going on over to Facebook Live right now. And if anyone's listening, I'd like to pre-welcome them to our show. Look forward when falling backwards. And I am going on the live stream right now. I think it's working. Welcome to What Women Want show, everyone. We are going live, and there we are. Welcome to What Women Want show, everyone. I'm your host, Judy Goss, and I'm here with my co-host, Kristen West.
Hello.
And welcome to our show, Look Forward When Falling Backwards. Now, this is a title that I picked because I feel like it has a double meaning, and we should all be looking forward when we're experiencing traumas and going through those dark places in life. And our expert tonight, financial educator Cheryl Fields, is going to lead us into that conversation as soon as we're done with our intro, and thanking you all out there for watching, for listening when we were a podcast, because we have over 1.5 million downloads. And now that we're on Facebook Live and we're a TV show, you know what? We are still getting very high numbers, and we're still really appreciating all of the shout outs and all of the comments on the show and the sharing and the liking. So we just want to thank you right off the bat, because we are grateful for that. And you can also find us on YouTube, and the audio is on iHeart, of course, all the time. Now, my background, as a lot of you know, comes from the high fashion modeling world. And then after that, I was in the corporate world and publishing. And then I started my TV hosting career. And I'm currently hosting a show called Behind the Gates, which is on AWE. It's airing right now, the second season. And I'm a regular contributor on NBC and Fox. And I'm also an entrepreneur of a company called What Women Want. What a coincidence. What Women Want Networking and Conference. And we are coming up on our 9th year in business.
Wow.
And our 3rd year of the national conference this year, November 1, 2, 3 in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm so excited. The theme is, it's time we get what we want. So it's going to be an exciting year for everyone. And I'm also a mom of twin teenage girls. So we have a very exciting household right now with twin teenage girls and me and my poor husband all together in one place, just trying to survive. Kristen, how's it going out there in Hollywood?
It's fun. We are halfway through season 3 of Horror Talk with Kristen West. We have a new episode coming out this Friday noon with director Russell Emanuel. We've done 30 episodes of that show.
Wow.
Yeah. So
amazing. Congratulations.
yeah. So it's fun to be halfway through season 3 and just doing the work, just one thing at a time doing the work. And of course here every Wednesday.
Awesome. Well, I love to have you here every Wednesday. I just feel like, you are part of the family, and I couldn't do the show without you. Although I'm lying because I did do the show last week without you.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're such a big part of it. And I wonder what comes to mind when you think about the title, Look Forward When Falling Backwards, Kristen.
It reminds me of those moments and challenges in life where everything is bottoming out from under you, which I've experienced, where everything seems lost, and you still have to have the courage and the fire in the belly to say, screw this, I'm going to move forward no matter what.
Right, that's true. And you know what I love about our guests that are on the show is they're so candid and so willing to be vulnerable and tell their stories so all of us can learn from them, because it's really, to me, the biggest way of truly moving forward is learning from other people that have been through other things, either just as traumatic or just as meaningful, that you've been through. Or you can just even compare their stories to your own and think about, wow, if they did it, I can too. I get a lot out of it from the show in that way.
Me too. And it's great to have a guest like Cheryl who's going to tell us all about that.
Well, let's bring her on. Cheryl Fields, financial educator. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you both. It's so great to be here. And you know how much I love you both. And I think you're doing such fabulous work in the world for women and really for humanity. So I just really am excited and thrilled to be here tonight with you.
Well, we couldn't do it without people like you that support what women want and everything that we do. And of course, thank you for, your contribution to making women stronger and more financially free. And, Cheryl, the most impressive thing, when I talk to you is your story of what you've been through and how you got to where you are. And it fascinates me for everyone, really. But your story really has a delicate moment in it where I think a lot of women can relate to. So if you just kind of let us know, I hate to say, well, geez, we only have 20 minutes, so let me know about your entire life. But I'd like to start with, basically how you got into what you do and what motivated you to look forward when you were really falling backwards and didn't know if you were going to get up.
No, absolutely. Right. So I've been an entrepreneur all of my adult life. I'd raised 2 girls. I was married to an ABC executive. Life was good. We were living in Hollywood. He wanted to get out of Hollywood, so we moved to Grand Junction. And then we ended up actually moving up north and publishing a business journal. But it was after that time. My kids were about in their mid-20s. 2 girls. I raised them part on my own and part during my married life, but bootstrapping businesses and being an entrepreneur like I know so many of your people are, and so many fabulous women I've met through What Women Want. And
the ones that aren't are either looking into it or starting a business.
Exactly. Oh, I'm saying, there are women that are just saying, I want more out of life.
Motivated, totally motivated.
Oh, totally. And of course, just really, just great women. The ones, it's just fabulous. But so I'd been an entrepreneur. I got into this relationship. I moved to Savannah, Georgia, and I was working for a year as a consultant at Gulfstream Aerospace, the people that make the jets. So it was a fabulous time in my life. So much great stuff going on. But I got in this relationship, and long story short, it's one of those things that it looks really great on the outside. We were high society in Savannah. We were doing this and that and whatever. But behind closed doors, things got worse and worse. And more, it had to do with alcohol for him. And it was just, I just felt like when I got into this relationship, I had a business that I had just sold, my business journal. I had, like a psychologist one time told me, she says, you had your car, like I had a convertible myself, but he was like, well, let's get you a better car. So now the car's not in my name anymore. Now it's in his. Same with the house. Okay, you've got a house. Oh, but my house is nicer. Well, let's just sell yours and we'll live in mine. And that's my warning.
Literally was manipulating your.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It was absolutely, and
Where did
and
I
I
miss
talked
that
to
before when I spoke to you? I thought, okay, wow, that's sneaky.
It's very scary. And I had talked to a psychologist, one woman I, care so much about. She's a client as well. And, she just told me, she goes, no, they're very calculating. This is like fun for them to figure out how they can do this step by step. So in any case, I'd always been like a kick-ass businesswoman. I mean, and my girls and I did so many fabulous things. And here I was in this relationship. And I think what you're talking about, the pivotal moment, was I got a call late one evening, or actually in the afternoon, from my girls, and they were still in New England, and I was in Savannah, Georgia. And again, I think they were 25 and 26 at the time. And I could tell when I picked up the phone, they were both teary and crying and emotional. And they said to me, Mom, we know that you're in an abusive relationship, and we know that you're trying to hide it. And we love you so much. You're all we have in this world.
Just gave me chills.
And we can't bear the thought of getting a call saying, you're unconscious, or you're, been thrown out of a car or something. And they said, or worse. And we can't bear that. So you can imagine, I mean, how I was like, it was one of those things. I felt like I had the planet stopped turning. I just stopped in my tracks. And so many things went through my mind, but I realized this was a time I needed to listen to my girls. And they told me that, that they wanted me back. They were so afraid. And they said, so Mom, we've booked you a room they booked me a room at the Hampton Inn on Riverwalk in Savannah, Georgia. And they said, we booked you a room at the hotel. We bought you a ticket on flight 646. It leaves tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and we want you on the flight. And as they were crying or whatever, they just said, will you be there?
You must have been, even looking back, maybe not at that time, but I can't imagine the pride that you must have felt for them, knowing that, figuring that out, and also helping you escape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's huge. They were only in their 20s.
Mm-hmm. Right. Again, then it really didn't hit me then, but it was like, I felt like I was totally in shock. And so many things went through my head. But, so I thought about it for a minute. I told them, it was a longer conversation, but I was like, of course I'll be there, because I realized I was in a bad situation. And that was really a thing where I had to look in the mirror and say, as much as you think you've been a badass, and as much as you think, you've been hiding it, you can't fix this. Yeah. And I'd always fixed everything in my life, for my girls, for my businesses, for us, for whatever. I'd always been able to fix stuff. And, you both of you feel empowered as a woman, so you just do what has to be done. But I realized at that moment that my life had taken a terrible turn over the last 3 years, and I needed to get out. And to know that my girls were there for me meant everything in the world. And I figured I could do anything knowing that they were on the other end of the phone.
And was that the pivotal moment after you went through that and got out and started getting yourself together? Was that the moment when you wanted to go into finance, or were you already educated?
No, so that wasn't really, that was a pivotal moment, but it wasn't the pivotal moment. So okay. I packed my bag. I stuffed what I could in my purse, whatever. And I packed like the things that were important to me. And I basically walked out the front door and trembling. I had no idea what my life was going to be like. I knew he was probably going to come after me, and they had alerted the police. And so I felt safe.
It was that bad.
Oh yeah. When I went to the airport the next morning at 7, I had a police escort, and he actually showed up. He actually showed up. He didn't get arrested, but
Your ex?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't my husband. I know. It was a bad relationship. What's that?
How did he know that you were at the airport?
I don't know. I guess he figured when I left. When he figured that I took my stuff and I went to the hotel.
That's
creepy, huh?
Beyond.
It was super creepy. Yeah. And I didn't have a place to go, but I went. I knew I needed to get my I knew that I needed to pull and draw from all the strength I had at that point. So I went to Forsyth Park, which, if anybody's seen it, it was in the Garden of Good, Midnight and Garden of Good and Evil, but the beautiful fountain in the middle of the park. And there's a bench right there. And that's actually the bench where they filmed the movie Forrest Gump, where Tom Hanks said, "Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get." That began my pivotal moment. And I sat there. I had a pity party for a little bit. I was absolutely I felt like I was, my wit's end in a way, but I realized I needed to step forward. I needed to step up. I needed to make sure that this happened. And so as I sat there and thought, I've been an entrepreneur. I know how business worked, but I didn't know how money worked. And I said, as I was sitting there, and lots of things went through my head, but as I was sitting there, I thought, I have to learn how money works, because I'm starting over at 47 years old. I need to know how money works, and I need it to work for me fast. So I went back, I got on my flight, made it back. My daughter had an extra bedroom in her apartment. And so it was fun. And so anyways, I got myself back on my feet, and I went to school, became a financial advisor, and was brand new in the market. Hired right out the gate by ING, a global investment firm, right at the end of 2007 when the market crashed in 2008.
Oh, geez.
And I saw everybody losing all this money right and left. And I heard people calling and saying, "Don't sell your home. Don't go on that trip. Don't do." And I was like, where am I now? I felt like I was back on the park bench, Judy. I felt like I am so confused. I don't want to tell people that this is what they should be doing, because I saw that people's lives were being ruined by all this. And even, it was just, a long story short, but I felt like I was back on the park bench. So every night I went to bed crying or sick at my stomach saying, "Oh my gosh, what does my life mean? Why am I here? And what is going on?" And I laid my head down one night and I just said, "Lord, I just need answers, because I'm really confused." And as funny as it is sometimes, the way things work, I woke up with absolutely no answers, but one really burning question. And the question that was laid on my heart that night was, wait a second, what do wealthy people do?
So is that what prompted you to interview those people? Because you went and did a stream of interviews.
I did.
How did you choose? What was your criteria of wealthy? What were you looking for? What were you honing in on in those interviews?
So I just knew that there was a way that we weren't being taught. And I knew that I was not taught that in my financial advisor school, and I knew it was benefiting Wall Street, and it all made no sense. So I said, who knows other things? Who are wealthy people that I know that might be doing other things? And so I really just started interviewing, and then I would ask them, who else could I talk to? And so that's really the whole way that it got started. And I started realizing, wait a second, wealthy people don't start over every time the market crashes. Mm-hmm. And they told me, wait, no, we always have time and money. That's the lifestyle piece, right? And I'm like, how could I not even know about that
lifestyle piece?
Well, I'm your gal. So I started saying, there's a lot that we're not being told or taught. And I started realizing that we were being kind of sucked into a system that benefited Wall Street, the banks, and the IRS.
Now, there's an interesting statistic on your website that I was really fascinated by. On your website, it says the average family is living on only 27 cents of every dollar they earn. Okay, how is that? I mean, I know taxes, tax brackets.
Well,
only 27 cents. How is that? Explain that.
Absolutely, Kristen. And it's, this is why I think what I want to say first is that we struggle with how much should I save? If we're listening to the people that are advisors in the world, how much should I save? Am I doing enough? Should I put it in the bank? Should I borrow again? Should I, all this stuff. It's all these questions. And most people I found don't understand really the first thing about it. And so of course we feel out of control, right? But the reason is because we are living on about 27 cents out of every dollar. And this isn't probably everyone, but this is the median, okay? But I thought it was a really super interesting statistic. And the way that we get that number is we spend about 29% or 29 out of every $100 on interest. Okay, that's your mortgage interest. That's interest on credit cards, interest on anything you haven't paid cash for, your braces for your kids, the furniture in the living room, whatever it is, whatever you pay interest on. And that's money that is slipping through our fingers, right? Mm-hmm. And then secondly, we spend about 39%, which is actually low, I've been told by many CPAs, but we spend 39% of our money on taxes. And that's not just income tax. It's sales tax, property tax, tax at the gas pump, tax when we buy a pair of shoes, tax when we go to an event, right? Tax when we buy the ticket to get there.
The tax on your phone bill.
The tax on your phone, but the tax at Walmart when you go to buy stuff. And I mean, all that money slips through our fingers.
Tax, which is like half my bill sometimes.
Exactly, right? And we don't think about that. We're just like, oh, that's how it is. But we have to say, wait, but we have a pie, basically, 100% of the money that we have. And for everybody, it's different. But if we look at those two pieces, that leaves about 27% of our money. If we figure most people save 5%, which is very low. But if you do, that's 27 cents out of every dollar. So no wonder we feel broke sometimes. No wonder we're not sure how much to save or how it's supposed to.
At least I have an excuse now. Jeez,
you do.
Backed up by a statistic.
You have full permission to feel that way because it's true. We've been duped, right?
So you have a few myths that you've discovered along the way. That you want people to know about. Can you kind of just give us a bullet point summary of some of the things that you found out?
Sure. So I do some in-depth trainings and webinars, and as a financial educator, I love to go and speak to groups, small groups, large groups, whatever. But the bullet point, that boiling it down is really, we've been indoctrinated into a system. I mean, billions of dollars are spent on advertising to try to get us to think that putting our money in a tax-deferred account like an IRA or 401k is really a great thing for us. So I have all of the facts to substantiate, but I'm just going to tell you like what would be meaningful. And believe me, it's shocking, but it's true. And that's that Tony Robbins even says that inside of mutual funds, which are what's in most people's accounts, the fees rob you of over 40% of your wealth.
Whoa.
So is it any reason that we're not getting ahead? I tell people when I got in the market and it just crashed, it was at 6,900. It's at 26,000 now. It's more than tripled. Has your account tripled? I ask people. They say, well, no. So what do we care if the market, quote unquote, is doing great? We care about our personal economy. Mm-hmm. Not, the other things, we need to know about. And of course, I love that. I eat and breathe all that. But most people don't. And it's like, we need to know about our personal economy. And that's where the 27 cents comes back in. If we can cut money off of taxes and cut money off of the interest, which is what I do and what wealthy people do, that money goes right back into your lifestyle. So say we cut taxes in half, we cut interest in half, which is what we do all the time, right? If we can do that, that means that you're having an extra, like you're doubling your lifestyle money. And so that's really what I realized and what I started understanding from wealthy people. They look at it completely different. They use the IRS tax code. Everything that I'm talking about and the things that I help people implement have been around since they started the IRS in 1913.
Well, I love that perspective that you did your research, not just with the tax code and, all of the, I guess, obvious ways to research this, right? But you really spoke to the people who have done it and who have been there. And I just want to give a shout out now, not to interrupt you, but Helen Powers is watching. So
hi, Helen. Love to Helen.
We love Helen, and we love Lucy Brummett. She's on our show every week, and she's such a huge fan, and we just adore the heck out of her. And I don't see Ann Ciccone on this week.
Oh, no.
She's missing there. But Armin Nasseri, hi, Armin, is on. Cindy Stewart, thank you all for watching. Bruce Levitt, gee, I wonder who that is. That's my husband. Oh, my gosh, he's watching the show. And Dana Enrico, thank you for watching, everyone. That Helen Powers is commenting hi. So if anyone who's watching right now, we have a few minutes left of the show. If you have any questions as to what Cheryl's speaking about or what I'm speaking about or anything, just to throw something out there that you've heard that you're not sure is right or not, please comment on our Facebook page there while you're watching the show. Otherwise, if you're not doing that, share the post so we can have other people see it and get the word out. And Cindy Stewart. Hi, Cindy. So we just want to thank you for watching this.
Of course we do.
Kristen, what do you think?
Well,
I hear you percolating over there.
I think we're anesthetized to all the fees because we take sales tax as a fact of life. We take brokerage fees as a fact of life. And it's important, I think, to be curious about the fees and what you're paying. What other secrets when you were conversing with the fabulously wealthy? What other secrets did they divulge besides these hidden fees and taxes?
Yes, and so the thing is, and the fees are hidden, so you really can't unless you go to and really research it. You really can't know. And they throw money. I mean, I lobby in Washington D.C. too. They have lobbyists too that lobby for the fact that they're allowed to do that. So there's two other things that are really kind of important. One of them is that the bank's allowed to loan your money out 7 times for every dollar you put in, and most people don't know that. So I found a huge hypocrisy in the fact that if I put my money in their bank, I get 1%. But if I want to buy a house, it's 5%. A car is 3%. A business.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Back up. The bank is allowed to what?
Loan your money out 7 times for every dollar you put in.
So they're making a lot of money.
They're making
over leveraged at the same time.
That's what caused the crash. Part of what caused the crash. But here's the irony in the whole thing. So think about it, right? It's all digital. So you put $1,000 in the bank. All of a sudden, they punch the button, and it goes boom, and now it's $7,000. And they loan it out to somebody for a house, somebody for a car, somebody for maybe a trip or whatever, and then 3 or 4 credit cards at 20 or 25%, and the bank is now making 100% on that money that they're acting like it's a big deal that they're giving you 1% on. And so my whole thing,
amazing.
Right? And what I say to people when I do my talks, and I love to ask people, isn't that really the stuff you wanted anyway? A house, a car, a trip once in a while, and a couple credit cards? Why don't we take back that 100%? And that's what we do.
Kristen, you ready to take it back?
I'm ready to think about it real hard because the thing is, and you look at these big bank scandals like Wells Fargo, crash is what needs to happen with the banking industry to prevent. I mean, obviously we have personal responsibility for our money, but what needs to happen with the banking industry to protect the consumer?
Well, here's the thing. And so really the third thing that I want to say back to your question, Kristen, which is an answer to that, is yes, we have to take back control. We've just been lied to and duped. And, so here's the thing I really want people to understand, is where you store your money is way more important than the rate of return that we're being told is the most important thing. It's not. It's getting eaten up in fees. It's getting covered up. It's getting diluted and everything else. Where we store our money, we're storing our money in tax-free places. So using insurance companies instead of banks is one way that the IRS tax code lets you do that. And so it's not doing anything off, Grand Cayman Islands. It's not doing anything funky or different. This is all 100% above board. People have been doing it for 100 years, and it's just really doing what's best for us. I want to quote just one thing that when I do this in talks, people get so mad. And I mean, it's a good mad. They, well, if there is a good mad, I guess, I don't know, maybe there's not a good mad, but my friend called me and she says, have you seen the front cover of the Wall Street Journal? It was January 5th of 2017. Front page. The guy that started the 401k said it was never meant to be a retirement vehicle for the American family.
Really?
He said he was with Johnson & Johnson in the HR department. They came to him with this idea of cutting back on pensions, which one thing I really help people understand is you need to have a personal pension, and we help you set that up. But he said that the pension plan, they could save corporations money. And he said, we got toe deep into it and we realized it was not working for the American family. And get this, he said, we tried to kill it during the Reagan years, but Wall Street had a hold of it and we couldn't stop the machine.
Wow. My friend Jim Chaney just said, I find it terrible that credit card companies consider you a slacker if you pay off your cards before the interest rate kicks in. If you're deeply in debt, you get a higher credit rating than those who choose not to be drowning in debt. What are your thoughts?
Well, so absolutely. I don't care if they call you a slacker. I mean, if you can maximize a 0% credit card, that's great. A lot of people have trouble with the discipline of that, because once you get one offer, you get 2 or 3 or 4, and it is a great way. I mean, wealthy people do use other people's money. So I don't have any problem with that, but it's actually how to frame it and how to structure it. And I feel that we really have to take a very cynical eye at what we're being taught and what we're being told, because one of the things I know for sure is, since this all has been happening in the last 30 years, baby boomers, 50% of women will be at or near the poverty level sometime during retirement, because they've been following the best advice of this whole thing that doesn't work. And so the whole idea is we have to be realistic, and we have to realize we have to take it back. And the way to do that is way simpler than what we've been doing. They keep us confused, like to your friend's point.
Shrouded in commercialism.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And really, as women, there's so much that goes into us feeling wealthy, right? It's our family, it's our friends, it's our fun, it's our faith, it's, fitness, it's all those things. It's not just money. But what I've learned and what I came away with this whole last decade of my life is experience. I want to be the person who goes out and speaks and tells people there is a different way. Your money never goes backwards. It's tax-free. You don't have to be stuck in this, because people have been given the same information, generally come to the same conclusions. And that's why all your friends are doing just what you're doing, and that's why everybody's all in this mess. We don't want women at the poverty level.
I hate to say this, but we're running out of time. I could sit here and listen to you all night about what's really going on in the financial industry.
No, I mean, it's a fascinating thing, and I'm glad to come back, Judy. So yeah, thank you for having me today.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. And let us know where we can get a hold of you, your website, and how to reach out for you on social media.
Sure. So I'm on Facebook, Cheryl Fields Inc. And then my website is lifestylewealthgroup.com. And you can just, there's places there where you can just connect with me and just say, hey, hi, I watched the show and I'd love to know more. So we're glad to get you information. And again, we don't charge for anything that we offer. So we're really, really here for education and making sure that people get, at least get things to think about. It might not be for everybody, but it definitely is liberating, and will let women feel the freedom that they want to feel.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Kristen, we have Melissa Manning on the show next week. She's a serial entrepreneur. Yeah, her story is just jaw-dropping. So I can't wait to have her on. And I want to thank everyone again for watching, and Cheryl, for you coming on the show. And stay with us this same time, same channel next week. Again, everyone have a good week, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, everybody.